Okay guys, in today's video I'm going to show you how to turn a warped panorama like this one into something a bit more level like this one, and we might fix a few stitching errors here or there as well. But before we get into today's video, it's worth mentioning why the panorama turned out like this, all warped, and the reason is of course because my tripod was not level, which meant that my camera was not level as I rotated it on the ball head. So make sure your tripod is level and that your camera stays level throughout the full sweep of the panorama, and you shouldn't run into this issue. You can use something like a leveling head. I use a Benro LBA2 to level your ball head a lot quicker and easier in the field. I was in a rush and I didn't check my setup. I was just firing off shots of panoramas, so it's resulted in this wonky horizon. The other technique is that if you are shooting a single row panorama, you can replace the top mount of your ball head with something that rotates. But that's only good for single row panoramas. And the other bit of kit that's useful for panoramas is a nodal rail, and that allows you to mount your camera a bit further back and directly over the nodal point or the no parallax point, such that when you rotate your camera, there's no parallax between the foreground and the background. The panorama stitches easier, but it won't help with the horizon. So what we're going to do is take this into Adobe Photoshop. But before we do, guys, if you want to learn more about using Photoshop and editing your images, you should check out the sponsors of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with more than 25,000 classes, and there are even a number of courses in astrophotography and astronomy. After last month's video, a lot of you guys tried out the course on nightscapes, which was put together by Ian Norman. This course is great for beginners. It covers all the foundations you need for landscape astrophotography. But there's also a good in-depth two-part course run by Paul Ganner. He also goes into detail about post-processing, so things like how to blend a sky with a foreground. Premium membership gives you unlimited access to all the courses. It's super affordable, and annual subscription works out at less than $10 a month, so roughly £6.50 for those of us in the UK. Now last month we promised 2 months free premium membership to the first 500 of my followers to use the link in the description below. There are still some of those places left, so make sure to click that link and use that to sign up and get 2 months free premium membership. And thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring another video and allowing me to create free and useful content for you guys. Okay, now that we've got the image in Photoshop, the first thing I'm going to do is rotate it all just a little bit, because I think it's all a little bit wonky. So pressing Control or Command T for transform, I can just rotate it a little bit and make the whole thing a little bit more level. Next up, we're going to jump into Edit and Puppet Warp. Now this brings up a mesh. I don't think you need the mesh. It doesn't really help me in any way, so I always untick the show mesh. And what I'm going to do is basically create a bunch of pins along the horizon here. So one there, I'm going to come until it starts getting a bit bent. One there, another one over here. Roughly here. I'm going to keep going along the horizon like this. One there. Can't quite see the horizon there, but I'm going to put a pin there anyway. Now what I'm going to do is, using this ruler here, I'm just going to click and drag in and create a bit of a guideline around there. So that'll be a guide for my horizon. If you can't see these rulers, just press Control or Command R for rulers. So I'm going to come in and start straightening this horizon a little bit. Okay, something like that. And I'd like to put another point there. It does let me. Sometimes it doesn't let you if it's too close to the other points. And so for example, if I wanted to put another point here, well, it does let me. If I wanted to put another point here, it says cannot add a new pin. And if you just come up to density more points, then you should be able to put another one in there. So for example, I can start straightening that off, because that's a bit... So that's looking a lot nicer now. And I can pull this one down and just keep straightening that horizon. And something like that. Zoom out. It's definitely looking a lot better, and if I come in here, you can still see a little bit of bending going on here. So I'm going to try and add a few more points perhaps. Bring that down, bring this up. It's a little bit more straight. And I'm just going to tick that off. Looking a lot better. I'm going to get rid of the guides by going to view clear guides. Now we can see the horizon is a lot straighter. Still not great. Could do is spend a bit more time trying to straighten this section here in particular. But what I'm going to do now is fix some of the stitching errors. So you can see a very obvious line there, a very obvious line here where the fog has moved and the stitching software hasn't seamlessly stitched them together. So I'm going to create a new layer by doing Control-Shift-N or Command-Shift-N if you're on a Mac, and I'm going to use the clone stamp tool on a low opacity, about 30 to 40. And I'm basically going to choose my sources of this cloud here and extend that over, brush over that obvious line. You might take my source from here and just keep taking random sources and brushing over the line that was there. So taking that cloud here and just kind of extending it over that line. Oh, we've duplicated the mountain there, which I didn't want to do. And you can see there that the mountain has a stitch very well. I could clone stamp it, but sometimes the spot removal tool does a pretty good job. Yeah, nice and quick and easy. I might get rid of that little bit of cloud. There's a few weird stitching errors going over here, I think, where the light source has moved between frames, so I'm still with the spot removal tool. I'm just gonna get rid of those. I'm going to leave that one because it's quite nice to have the human activity. Those people probably starting their hikes for sunrise in the morning. There's a little bit of a stitching error going on here. I'll try the spot removal tool, which is okay, but it'll probably be better with a manual clone stamp. And if we just try and blend that in a little better, that looks a lot better. And that's looking way better. I'm going to crop it, but I think before I crop, I'm just going to squeeze it just a little bit because it's super wide. So I'm just going to squeeze the panorama just a little bit. And I'm gonna have to fill in these corners. So using the magnetic lasso tool, I'm just gonna select and go to edit, content aware, fill. And that's done a fairly decent job there. So I'm just gonna click OK on that. That's better, and I also just noticed this little distraction right on the edge. It's really not good to have distractions on the edge. I'm also going to get rid of, I think that's Gareth, my friend. Where's he gone? Ah! Yep, there he is. Sitting on the edge, getting the shots, getting the bangers. Jesus Christ. I'm just going to get rid of him using the spot removal tool. I'm going to brush over him. Poof, and he's gone. Also that little bit of light coming from his head torch. Okay, and sweet. Now I can take that image back into Lightroom and quickly finish it off with, what was with the jazz hands this? Quickly finish it off with my Astro Workflow Lightroom presets. So we went from this to this, much more straight. It's a huge improvement. And now I'm going to use my local adjustment presets. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the Alan Wallace Darken Sky to darken that sky down. Nice. I'm also going to do the AW vignette using a radial filter just to go over that. Nice. And I might use another Darken Sky because that sky is still looking too bright for me. And I'm darkening this mountain, which I don't want to do, so I'm going to come into brush, into erase. I've got auto masking on, which helps me paint within the lines, and I'm just going to remove that mountain from the effect. And if you press O for overlay, you can make sure you got it all, and none of the mountain is red. I'm also darkening this mountain area, so I'll do that. Just erase the effect of the graduated filter from the mountains. Nice. And that's it, guys. I might do some final touches, little drop of the highlights, a little pop in the whites, maybe reveal a tiny bit of shadow detail. And I'm going to finish it off with a vignette, but using a graduated filter instead of a radiated filter, just to darken this foreground a little bit. Nice. And let's use a little bit of Milky Way pop over the Milky Way, and let's make that pop a little bit better. Oh, I don't want the overlay. And yeah, that's made the Milky Way pop nicely. Done. The foreground here, just this little section, is a bit too dark for me, so I'm going to balance it out. I'm going to get the foreground pop and see if we can just balance it out and lift this darkness just a little bit. That's better. Much better. Ta-da! And that is it, guys. That is how you fix a warped panorama, and a quick little demo there of my Astro Workflow Lightroom presets. There'll be a link in the description below. If you guys have a different method or any questions, please do get in the comments below. If you haven't seen the vlog where I took this image, there'll be a link in which corner? That corner? Yep, that corner. And if you're going on to enjoy the night sky anytime soon, I wish you good luck and clear skies.